Hey guys, Rick Shaw here on Monday the 23rd of May 2022, and we got some beautiful puffy clouds going on today. Sun's nice and warm, not hot. It's nice and warm. We got a real good breeze going, and it's just absolutely a beautiful day. I call this Hawaii weather. It's nice. One of the things I want to talk about this morning is this, this Roe versus Wade. They're talking about it's getting to be overturned, and the people that are against it, that are vehemently against it, they're those same people, they scream about my body, my choice, until it comes to this thing they want to put in your arm. Then they're completely silent. Well, think about what they're saying when they say my body, my choice. That's not their body. That's another one. That's another creation of God in there. And, I just don't get these people. I think there's got to be some kind of defect going on there. Morning. To want to murder somebody. I just don't get that. I just don't get it. But somebody was asking me about that thing I posted and I talked about a little bit. It's Beau Pony. He's not a prophet. I got it down here. Yeah, let's see. That's right. P-O-L-N-Y, Pony. He's not a prophet. He's just following the biblical framework with his numbers. It was interesting to watch. What he was doing, I don't think he was following it all the way. He was saying, "Oh, this is going to be till the end of time," and there was no talk of Antichrist or Christ coming back. All these things got to fall in line. So he might have to look into it a little bit deeper before he comes with his predictions. But I look at the news, and there's stuff that makes me chuckle. Now down in Australia, this dude who was a championship surfer, even amongst the men, well, he went and got himself swapped. He's a eunuch now, and he entered a woman's competition and he won that. Come on, guys. Call him what he is. He's a eunuch. That's all there is to it. So, but the other thing they're talking about is this Chimp Box thing that's going on. And, I personally think, if you look when they first found it was in 1958. I believe it was in Copenhagen. And it was those monkeys where they found it in were testing a Jabba. So it was something that was probably given to them. And I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of pictures on there. I posted a few of them, even to Facebook. I don't know if that'll get taken down. But, it looks just like shingles, So is this what they're giving people? I don't know. Time will tell. But I often wonder, too, how many of these people who got this right there have this thing now? You got to look at that. Nobody seems to be looking at that. It's like taboo. They don't want to talk about anybody who got that having anything wrong with them other than that they're perfect. Jeez, guys. Yeah, I wish a lot of folks would wake up. The other thing, it's not what they're talking about. It's what they're not talking about that really got me on the news. I'm looking through the news. I do that every morning between 2:30 and about 4:30. Sometimes I go for the walk with the dog, then I come back and I'll look a little more. And I don't see any of these libs talking about the 2,000 mules. I don't. They're not saying a word. You think they'd be up in arms if it was untrue, but they just got nailed on this one. And something should come out of this. Who knows though? Who knows if anything's going to come out of it? So time will tell. Morning. But that's just something, by their silence. And then now Fox News is saying something on it. I don't trust any of the major news medias. I know a lot of people, they really like Fox, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I've seen some interviews of Tucker Carlson out on the street where he gave his views. Find some of those ones of some of those videos of him when he's not in front of the camera in the set, saying what he's supposed to say. Find out when he starts saying what he's really saying. I think he's controlled opposition. A lot of them guys are. The only one I like over there is Cavuto. But you know, but that's pretty much what I was looking at. We got here. There's supposed to be a meeting with the meter land over at our big thing over there. I believe my wife said it was Wednesday, and I'm like, I don't even want to go. They've had them here. They've had all those same people here, and we've talked to them about all the things going on. You know, these guys we're having to poop in the grass. There's no porta potties. They leave garbage all over. You know, we're starting to get rats now, and it's just they're not going to do anything. They put their flunkies up front. You know, that's all they do, and they tell you what you want to hear, and then they go away and do absolutely nothing. I'm in with these people, and personally, this is just my opinion. I don't believe they're an honorable company. I think if you come here and you want to build a house, it's best that you get somebody that you know and build it yourself. Start looking up. There's so much stuff online. There are actually codes here that tell you how the rebar's to be done. I looked it up, found it myself. And you can look up all the stuff on how things can be done. I think you can actually do some things better. So that's just the way it goes. Me personally, myself, if I build my little bathhouse, I was thinking I could just even pipe the electricity, bring the plugs down from the ceiling, and just go ahead and pipe it. Not inside the wall. You know, you get problems with that. We've got a problem now. I wanted to pull from my meter. It goes to the very first place over there, and I wanted to pull from that. I wanted to pull from that, set a ground rod, and run a neutral. You know, I could change the panel out and go right to that very first plug over there. It's pinched underneath concrete or something because you can't get the wire to budge. The only way to fix that is to just completely replace it, you know, totally. And I don't know, one of the things I'm not sure of here, I know in the States we've used EMT outside, especially if we were doing businesses and industries. You know, you run the rigid under the ground and then you run the EMT above ground. And I never saw too much of a problem. Here I noticed they do, it's all rigid. You know, they do rigid all even up above the ground on a lot of these commercial jobs. And I thought that was ridiculous, but maybe it's a rust problem. But here in the States, there's always that moisture in there. Whenever you go from the inside of a building to the outside, you're going to get condensation in that pipe just because the temperature changed. So I'm not, and I never saw any big problems with that, but I was thinking that's what I'll do. I'll just go get myself a 1/2-inch bender and just run all that. And then if you want to change anything or add, it's real easy. Just do it. Right now, the way they do it, and I don't particularly like it. I think down the road it's going to be a problem, is they put all the block up, and then the electrician, he just takes a chip hammer and he chips out the face of the block, sticks his Smurf tube. It's not blue, it's orange here. He sticks his Smurf tube in the wall with the wire in it already, and then they just skim coat over it. You know, they hold it in. However they do to hold it in, I've seen guys using little nails, anything to hold it in, pieces of wood, and then they skim coat over it. And that's it. And it's right below the surface. You know, so when you're... one thing that was nice that they did that I actually liked was they took really good pictures of as the electric was going in. So I can go back on my phone and look at these pictures, so when I was drilling my anchors in the wall to hang things, I wasn't going to run into a Smurf. And but if you don't know that, start drilling with your hammer drill real slow and watch for orange coming out, you know, because you'll hit them wires, and it's just a royal mess. I would rather have it surface mounted. I don't want to do anything in PVC, you know, in case if there's a fire. PVC puts off a terrible deadly smoke that coats your lungs and you suffocate to death. So you got to watch for that. And the bad thing about it is it settles down quickly. So even if you're crawling on a floor to get out of the fire, you're still sucking that stuff in. That's the only time I think a mask would truly help you. So, but other than that, I see here in this country too, they're talking about they're going to up the ante a little bit. That's what's going on now. I had a few people send me some stuff, and I hope not. I really do, but you never know what's going to happen anywhere. And it's not just here; it's anywhere in the world now. They're pushing this pox thing, and come on, guys. Are we going to let them pull the wool over again? This needs to really get out. Now they're doing this big WHO thing. I haven't heard the vote. Anything on that? Anybody hears anything already? Let us know. Maybe the vote won't be for a little bit, but why would unless these people that are running the show are being paid a huge amount of money, why would they give national sovereignty over to a country? And then who's going to enforce that? Who is going to enforce this stuff on the individual countries? Are they going to bring NATO in, UN in, or are they going to have your own people do it to you? To make you get, something against my body, my choice. This is just ridiculous. And you look at all these people who don't have it. Here, when I was in Mindoro, there's a lot of folks that just don't have that thing that they push, and they're fine. Everybody's fine. And if you look at all this, there was a study done in England. I'll see if I can go back and find it. I believe it's in my Telegram page. It might be pushed back a little bit because I added a lot of stuff in the last couple of days, but they're looking at all these people that are having major problems, and the worst ones are the like double and triple boosted. That's what's happening now, and that's coming out from their own government site. It's not any kind of BS. I don't think they could take my channel down for it. I'm going to even try to put it on Facebook. I might have already, because I was reading that thing going, wow, finally, but they're still pushing it in a lot of places. I'm not going to say exactly where, but there's a lot of countries still pushing this. They want you to get boosters. They want you to get all this kind of stuff. And guys, the jury's not out on the dangers of this thing. It's come back. Pfizer's own documents, all these companies, and now all of a sudden the government is buying a whole bunch of these jabs. The U.S. government is buying a bunch of these jabs for this pox. They're gonna push the same thing again. It's just how it's going to go. And I think they use the IMF to coerce these countries because it's fiat currency. They can control you. If countries had their own gold-backed currency, they can't be controlled by a central bank. So the central bank is the puppet master of all these places. So if it does go through, it's coercion, just like they're coercing people. You don't get this thing, you lose your job. It's what it is on a grand scale. So just watch out, guys. Keep everybody posted on this. A lot of people don't even know about it. I talked to a fella here. He just started hitting me on the messenger this maybe 2 months ago, and I don't talk to him on the phone. I just send him a few messages here and there. He sends me some pictures and stuff, and so I just asked him, what do you think of this WHO thing that's going on? He's like, what? And I sent him a picture of what they're trying to do, and he says, I never heard a thing about it. And this guy's from Iowa. Okay, that's where his home is now. He's talking about moving here, and it's like, you didn't know about that? No, that's the first I heard of it. Is you sure that's not fake news? Me just hearing that now, I'm thinking that's fake. I said, this has been going on for a while. Your national media isn't going to put it out. I said, that's why, and he just kind of shut down. I haven't heard from him. I think it was a lot of information for him to digest, and I'm seeing that more. People just want to be done with this, and they're just going to do what it is to think they get it over with. It's like they said in the beginning with this thing that we got here. They just got fed up with it. Just get it and be done with it, because then it'll be over. That was the promise, but the goalpost moved. I had videos from 2 years ago where I had the picture of the goalpost where they show the G-men holding the goalpost, running as fast as they can while the runners trying to catch up with the goalpost. That's just what it is. They just keep moving it. Do this and everything's going to be fine. Then you do that. Nope, now you got to do this one. And then they came up with this new term, brand new term, fully vaccinated. Fully vaccinated is whatever the heck they say, guys. you know, they're just going to keep coming up with it. And then they want a world governing body to say this stuff. And, you know, they're coming up with this stuff. They got the news media, so they're propagandizing that this new thing is this horrible thing. Come on, you know. And then you look at a lot of the data coming out of Russia of what they're starting to say. News media isn't really going to cover it. They're only going to cover what they want to cover, you know, for their bosses. But they're coming out, you know, really going against, saying that a lot of these Dems in the government of the U.S. are, you know, big time on this thing that they're promoting, and finding these ways to alter things to make people sicker and all this kind of stuff. Guys, you know, it's really a shame. But we are having, we are having a beautiful day. We're not doing too much today. Kids were out riding the bikes already. And that little neighbor boy's got that one. They got the tire fixed, so he's scooting around on that. Nice little boy over there. My kids go over there and play sometimes, and pretty cool. But the rain cleaned the car off real good. We're getting a boatload of dust from all the work. Now, since the rain came, that's down quite a bit. And then, of course, that big heavy rain that came last night washed a lot of the dust off, so I'm pretty happy about that. You know, I still got to get in here and clean all the crap from underneath. You know, I got so many plugs in these tires. I want to replace the tires. You know, even when I go on the highway now, I'm not going as fast or anything like that. Even a little bit under the speed limit, because I don't trust them. We had to do an emergency maneuver when I first got it. Car handled fantastic. Now these tires are starting to slip, especially even if there's a little bit of rain or wet. You know, the rubber got hard. You know, they're 3 years old. They've been in the sun pretty much most of the time, and you know, it's time to replace them, even though there's a boatload of tread on them. But I got one of them's got 3 plugs in it. Another one has 2 plugs in it, and the other one has 1 plug in it, and it's kind of almost in the sidewall. It's still in the belt area because I felt the steel belt when I was pushing it through, but it's in the sidewall, and I just don't trust them anymore. You know, I got my family's lives in this buggy, and I want to keep good tires. You know, real good tires. I was always that way, keeping good tires on my vehicles, keeping the brakes up. I do the maintenance on this. Now everything's going to be on me. I just ordered the oil change for it. I have a filter, but I went ahead and ordered another filter anyway, so I got a backup. I got a backup filter for the Yamaha coming, and extra oil so I can keep it in the cabinet in case if I need to change it for any reason. But the motorbike, you know, it's not really dirtying up the oil. I think I broke it in properly. I like having a stick shift on the car because it's easier to break them in, I think. And I'm a firm believer when you're breaking them in is just running them up like in a lower gear and then lower it down so you get the changes in pressure on those rings so that they seat properly. And I did that on the bike. We just rode around in here. I'd zoom it up. I have no tack, but I was never worried about that. I've seen videos already of motorcycles in the factories where they're testing them before they send them out the door, and they run these things up to Redline. You know, so some people say, oh, you need an easy break-in, some you need a hard. I don't believe in a super easy break-in. I believe the manufacturers tell you for the first 500 miles to take it easy on them, not because of the motor, but because of the tires. Anytime you get some new tires on a bike, if you start hammering that bike right away, you're going to go down. Those tires need to get broken too. They need to get roughed up. So I think that's why they do that. But you know, I always was careful in the beginning, but still in a straight line, I would run them up. I would run them up pretty good. They say on my one bike, it said don't run it over 4,000. You know, in the first 500 miles. I still again think that's because of the tires. But no, I zoom mine up. You know, I'm not going to put it at a red line and keep it there. I've always been a firm believer in when, you know, as long as you got a load against an engine, that engine's going to be fine. You know, it's when these guys run these engines with no load on them. I remember years ago when they had this a test that they were doing to all the old cars, smog testing they called it. And I think it was a plan to get rid of them because they'd sit there for like 5 minutes, and they put these things up to a certain RPM. They put a little thing on the spark plug wire, and they'd kick it up to, you know, like 5,000, 4,000, something like that in a car. On these old cars, you know, 50s, 60s, 70s cars, and basically they were just burning them up. You know, those cars will last forever as long as you keep a load on them. You know, when you can't just run a vehicle in first gear and do 50 miles an hour all the time. There's not enough of a load on that engine. You're going to burn it up. You know, it's not so much the RPM. It's you got to have a load, and then when you let off the gas too. That's why I like the stick shift. You know, you're slowing her down. And this one doesn't have the best deceleration characteristics, you know, for using the gears as a brake. I wish it was a little bit better. I've had cars that were really good on that. But in the old days, you know, we had a lot of push rods, and I had it was a Oldsmobile. Nice car. It had the low compression 350 in it, and it had the 2-speed power glide. It was not an Oldsmobile motor. It was a Chevy motor, but it was a low compression, and it got 20 miles to the gallon. This thing got all the time, but it wasn't like super fast or anything. But you could kick it from that second gear down to first on a big hill, and this thing would slow down really nice. Well, one time I was going through the Smoky Mountains, and I was cruising along pretty good. I just come up, I had it to the floor. I was coming up the top of the hill and just started down the other side, and there was a truck stopped. He was kind of sideways in the road, and I pulled her down into first gear and was hitting the brake, and I bent a push rod. So you got to be careful of that. You know, even though it had the hydraulic lifters and anything, I bent a push rod. But it was really cool. I got down to the bottom of the hill, and I got at the bottom of this hill and around a big curve. There was a station, and being that it was a GM 350, the guy had push rods, and basically we just popped that off, changed that push rod, and then put everything back on, adjusted, and I was on my way in about 3 hours. You know, and it was even with that guy having to run out and pump gas. I said, I'll pump the gas. He's, nope. It was back in the day when they had the little rubber thing where the bell, when you ran over it, it rang the bell. They don't have those anymore. Now you pump your own. I saw an article that the U.S. is a service-oriented, you know, country, and it's not service anymore. Here, you come here, they clean your windows, they'll check your oil, they'll do all that stuff, and they'll send 2-3 guys over to your car like they did back in the 50s and 60s. So that's pretty cool. I think what they meant when it was a service-oriented society is that you're paying your income taxes to people who aren't even in the country. You know, it's a payment on a loan. That's all it is. But that's about it right there. I like getting all the comments. I did answer for that girl who left the comment on who that was, and it was kind of good. Watch it. Take a lot of this stuff with a grain of salt. I look at stuff. If it seems a little bit plausible, I'll put it in there. I'll put some stuff on there for you to look at. I don't buy everything. It's like me with the Q stuff. I don't even want to post any of it. I had some channels I got into on Telegram that I just clicked off after a while because they were nothing but advertisements. And then I see channels too. As soon as I see a channel that's a red flag for me that I won't even look at anymore, they'll put something on my page, and they'll have an article, and it'll say, okay, subscribe to this channel. Well, they'll be in the write-up, oh, well, if you don't subscribe to this channel in 6 days, it's going to be closed and nobody can. Well, what are they doing that for? That's a big pile of crap. That's a sales gimmick to try to get you to buy it, so I'm thinking they're just sales sites. And some of the sites I like, when I start to see a site that I think is a pretty good site, you'll start seeing these bots will put 500 of the exact same thing on in a row just to mess with the site, so you get tired of looking at it and scrolling through it. And that's a royal shame. That's what's happening to my Real Raw News. But the guy running it, he's on it. He gets rid of them as quick as he can. Whenever I see anything like that, I report it. You know, I'll report it that it's a bot or something like that. But you know, that's a good channel. Real Raw News is a pretty good one. I am looking at the True Social. It's a lot of advertisement for the Trump card and all this stuff, and they're giving you this pie in the sky. Oh, you know, you get this Trump card and you're going to get $4,000 a month. You know, I'll believe that one when I see it. You know, if somebody bought, you know, they want you to buy 10 or 20 of them at a time. If that's the truth, and then all of a sudden I'll just say, hey, buddy, you got 25 of these. Why don't you give me one so I can have $4,000 a month? Because you're getting how many, you know, 80, 100,000, 100,000 a month. I'm just not buying it, guys. It's just some kind of sales gimmick. Where's the money going? It's not really a credit card or anything. I don't know what the heck it is. Now I could see if they would have a Trump gold coin. I would be into buying that. I like getting the gold. I remember years ago they had those little tiny, I forget how big they were, 10 grains or something. They were selling these little tiny $5 gold coins. And I was looking it up with the troy ounce and how much. Oh, look at that. There's another one, guys. This is what I keep picking up. But I bought a pile of them. They said, oh, there's a limit of 10, and I got a hold of them, and I just bought 10, and then I bought 10 more, and then I bought 10 more. But if you looked at the price, at the spot price of gold, it was slightly higher than what the gold prices were at the time, if you just bought a piece of solid gold. So I went ahead and bought a boatload of those, and they're very portable. You can take them anywhere. Oh my goodness, I bought so many of them damn things. It wasn't funny. Every payday I was buying 10 more. And I grabbed a bunch of those, and they're really easy to bring anywhere. They're smaller than a dime, but they're thicker. Seems like they're just a little bit thicker than a dime, and they're solid gold. So I wish all the currencies would go to gold back. It's what it's starting to show now. It's what we're starting to see. A lot of countries are going to be getting off of these fiat currencies, and that is the death knell to this new world order, if you ask me. It's an absolute death knell, because that's how they're funding themselves. They print this money, and then they can start their wars. And I remember Reagan calling the Soviet Union the evil empire, and I think it's switched around now. Because look at all these wars they start. They holler and fuss about Russia starting with Ukraine, and they're making a big scream about that. But nobody screamed when they went in there and killed all them Iraqis. Just because they was pissed at one guy. It's ridiculous. And all these different proxy wars they start all over. And they use the NATO and all this kind of stuff. NATO was supposed to be for the world peacekeeping deal. They're the biggest warmongers on the planet, guys. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be in it. I personally think they should take the UN and all them things. Like in New York, that building, they bombed the wrong building, guys, if you ask me. But we should be out of all that stuff. These are just foreign entanglements we don't need anything to do with. Leave these people alone. Get back to being energy independent, which we were. We were. Now they're destroying your food. There's just all over the place. Distribution centers are going down. It's an attack, guys. We're in World War III. We're not at the beginning. We're in the middle of it right now, and we're losing because everybody's sitting on their hands, waiting for the great return. That they keep talking about for the last year. Ain't happening, guys. Would it be nice? Sure. Could it? Maybe. But I ain't seen anything that's proof that it's gonna, in this 2,000 mules that came out. What are they doing with it? They talk about these different states are doing this, that, and the other, but they've been talking about that for a year. That there was something wrong here, and all this stuff. Come on, guys. Gotta start getting a little vocal to your people. At least you can do is write some letters to your congressman, senator, make some calls, show up at some of these places. I just saw a big thing that there are a bunch of people, they say on a certain date they're all going to meet in front of Facebook. And then I seen some, should Elon Musk buy Facebook instead of Twitter? What's going to happen with those stock prices? And they're saying 50% of all the things on there are bots. Facebook is a big pile of baloney. You put something up on there, and they cover it over. If they don't take it down completely, guys, if this ain't censorship, I don't know what it is. This is what a lot of people use. Here, it's big here. I think it's bigger here than anywhere else in the world. Everybody's Messenger and Facebook. Every Filipino I know has got Messenger and Facebook. You know what I mean? And I put stuff on my channel, and they take it down. My channel's been taken down a few times, and I'll just get something from Facebook and repost it, and then they hit me on it. because I'm a bad boy. Crazy. But we are going to get some more rain again tonight. I guarantee it. Yesterday I wanted to go out and take a ride on the motorcycle. Muju said, hey, we need to get you back on the bike, and I was going to just take a short ride. But by the time I got the camera working, I got this wristwatch thingy, and with the new camera I got another one, and it wasn't working. They got it fixed. Well, I can't turn the camera on when the camera is inside that plastic housing. I can't hear the beep. Even though I got it on the loudest one, I cannot hear the beep whether it's on. The only way to check if it's on is take my helmet off, which I'll probably have to do. But yesterday, I turned on the camera and it just did that thinking thing. It just spun around in a circle and would not connect to the camera. I just set it down and I was taking my motorcycle stuff off, and it started raining, and right after the rain started, the camera connected, but it took 20 minutes. So I don't know what's up with that. I wish I knew how to operate that better. The whole time I was reading the manual, it said do exactly what I did, and it didn't matter which one I tried to connect, you know, because after a while when it wouldn't connect, I tried to connect the other one to the other camera. I went upstairs. That one wouldn't connect either. That one wound up connecting. I forgot about it, left it sitting up there, and when I got back, it was still thinking, and I had taken a pretty good ride in the car. So really, tech is great when it works, but I'm looking more to go back to a simpler time, like when we go to Mindoro. I'm not even going to have a TV, guys. I don't want a TV. We might do something with the internet, maybe get a dish so we can pick up the internet, or just go into town when we need to use it. You know, I won't be able to put the videos out like I do now, but you know, it's a plan for us to go there. We're still doing a wait and see right now. We figure August, things ought to be pretty much set what's going to happen here by August. And if everything's good, we're going to head down in August and start working on the septic. My wife was saying, yeah, we should be there when everything's being done. You know, just don't be there. So we'll get a septic in. My buddy Wes sent me a really cool thing about a septic and building bamboo stuff. Great stuff from that he picked up off the internet. And doing the treatments and stuff and getting these things up, and that's what we want to do. You know, just build a nice cubo house, and I don't plan on putting water in it, you know, or drinking water at night. We'll just have it in a container. I want to do my reverse osmosis out in the I'm going to call it a bathhouse, because you know, we'll have a toilet in there on the inside, you know, with a regular door, shower room with a couple shower heads, and then on the outside I want to have another can with a little door on it, so that you know, if you're outside or if guests are over, they can go in there. And I was also even thinking of taking, you know how they do in the military, they have the beds that fold up on the wall, and building those, just drop them down on a chain, so that you got like a bunk bed built right onto the wall. I still don't know if we're going to do the forms and, you know, pour the wall. That seems to be a good way. Just build the steel and just pour a little bit every day, move the forms. What is it? The Texas Filipino, I think that's the channel. He's doing that. I think we could do that pretty cheaply, because we don't got to drag the blocks in. And blocks here are suspect. I was at a buddy's place. He was building a house. There's going to be apartments for him to rent out. And after the thing went up, while they were doing the skim coat, I was over there, and there was a couple blocks sitting on the ground. And I went to pick them up, and they broke. You go past that place, and you can just see it's kind of crumbly. It's still going to be standing for a long time, but stuff's crumbling off of it. You know, there's like holes in it. And it's just, he got cheap block. He went for the cheapest price on it because it was a rental. And now my buddy Onad, he works for a company that makes block, that they're tested, and they're these blocks that go together like Legos almost. Okay, so you can still put the mud in there, but they go through, and they also got the cutouts for receptacles, switches, all that stuff. Plus they have chases in the center, one for rebar, and then another one for PVC, half-inch PVC or 3/4, so you can run your wires through there. And I thought that was kind of cool. I was out at his site. He showed me all his stuff, and they test every truckload for PSI, because you can order them 1,700 PSI, 2,000 PSI, all the way up to 5,000 PSI. his blocks, you can build all the way up to 8 stories with these blocks, which that's a pretty good block when you can do that, you know, without any kind of structure other than the block work. That's a heck of a good block. I wouldn't want to be in that 8-story building in an earthquake, but hopefully it's good. But okay, I'm rambling again. So you guys take care and just look at this beautiful day that God gave us. And don't forget, I was talking with my buddy Scott who sent me this stuff, and you know, and he agreed with me. I said, if everybody in the U.S., all the Christians in the world, dropped to their knees and asked the good Lord for this horrible thing that's going on in the world now to stop, change his mind. I mean, there's numerous accounts in history where the good Lord changed his mind. Now, you know, this Roe versus Wade, what I started on, if this goes away, that's going to be the first step. I can see a mass exodus. I could see a mass exodus of people moving around in the country. Talk about building up the economy, because a bunch of these loony libs are going to be heading out to New York and California, because they'll probably still allow that. Just watch who you're voting for, guys. Watch who even local people are getting in. Be careful of that. Try to get some good people in there. You know, I hope they don't just keep stealing elections. They stole the last one so bad. I'd hate to see them just steal all of them. It seems like that's the way it's going. So don't forget to pray for each other, guys. And this is Rick Shaw out.